Hi, hello friends. Welcome back to Night Court Narrative. I am Elvish. I hope you guys are doing very well today. Today we are discussing Deep End by H.D. Carlton. I did end up giving this book a 4-star rating. As always, here is your disclaimer. We do talk about spoilers in this book, so if you are not ready to hear them, please come back whenever you are ready. However, moving forward, our female main character is named Sawyer. She is a fugitive running from her dark past. We have our male main character, Enzo, which is cold but a magnetic shark researcher. If you read the book, you understand. If you don't, that made no sense. But anyway, Sawyer is trying to run from her dark past, as mentioned. She does see a relative at the airport and decides to switch planes, fleeing to Port Valen, Australia. This is where she meets Enzo. After a very heated one-night stand under a very spicy waterfall, she does steal his identity. Enzo discovers this and hunts her down, forcing her onto his boat, leading to a very interesting shark time. We can go over that in a moment. But a storm ends up striking and it leaves them both stranded on Raven's Isle. Raven's Isle is a home to Sylvester. He is an unsettling lighthouse keeper with a very violent past. Sylvester claims that ghosts haunt the island, which leads to very strict rules. Hauntings include chains dragging at night, eerie noises, and he becomes very controlling and shows controlling behavior towards Sawyer, which gets kind of creepy. Sawyer does battle with demons. She is haunted by a ghost of her abusive brother Kevin, whom she ended up killing in self-defense. And then, despite their animosity towards one another, their relationship does grow, Sawyer and Enzo. Sawyer finding a sense of safety in Enzo that she never expected before, or like experienced. Sylvester is definitely an interesting character. We discover that his family did used to live on the island with him. His daughter Trinity did end up unaliving herself. The wife, quote unquote, left with the second daughter, Casey. We do, of course, end up finding out that Casey is imprisoned and her mouth is completely sewn shut. With that also being said, Sawyer and Enzo discover hidden rooms, and that is where they do find Casey, who reveals that Sylvester killed his wife and many others. Casey ends up sacrificing herself to save Enzo. Sylvester is also killed in the process. Sawyer and Enzo call for rescue. This is where Sawyer pretends to be Sylvester's daughter, Trinity, to avoid arrest. And then we do end up learning that Kevin, if we circle back, that is Sawyer's brother. We do find out that he did abuse many women, and it kind of partially cleared up Sawyer's name. But Sawyer and Enzo end up marrying one another, and she ends up working at Enzo's research faculty with him. Really cool, really cute. I love it. This book was amazing. This book was really good. As many of you know, H.D. Carlton has become one of my favorite authors, and I am on a journey to finish every single one of her books. This book, however, was a lot slower than all of her other books, but that doesn't mean it was bad. This book did leave me with a lot of what ifs, like throughout the book. I guess in a sense, because it was so slow, something creepy would happen and you're like, okay, what is happening? And the book would slow down just a little bit, kind of giving you a little bit of information dump, or it would give you a little bit more of like heated forced proximity, because Sawyer and Enzo were trapped in a room together at night. They were forced, I think it was like 7 p.m. or something. They were forced to go in their room at night, and then Sylvester would completely lock the door from the outside. The windows were practically boarded up. They couldn't get out. They were forced to be in there. I believe there was only one bed in the room too. Like, they were forced to get along, because before arriving to the island, God, my brain hole is not working. Before arriving to the island, they obviously were not on good terms. We have Sawyer. She did attempt to steal his identity. I believe made a credit card in his name, went out, spent some of the money, and of course, Enzo found out, hunted her down, and there was this fantastic shark scene, and I'm not going to do it justice. And I know that, like, if you're not a dark romance girly, first of all, I'm confused on why you're watching this video. But two, if you're not a dark romance girly and you are watching this video, give it a shot, because yeah. So he ends up, and I don't know how much I can say with YouTube, like, you know, they don't really approve, but he ends up forcing her head underwater as if it's drowning, but it does play on breath play. So he kind of, you know, drowns her a bit, pulls her up, drowns her, pulls her up, drowns her, pulls her up, all that. But in shark infested water, and she can see sharks coming at her, and sharks get really close, and yeah, no, it was definitely a not okay moment for her, and she hated all of it. But as the reader, I'm just like, okay. Oh, we're fucked. Dark romance readers are fucked. There is a precious baby in this book. His name is Simon. He is this old guy that always sits at the bus stop, and he is my baby. He is a precious being. He ended up giving her like this tattoo, I guess. While they were at the bus stop, he ended up, obviously pure amateur. He's not even like a real tattoo artist. Like, he's just a plain Jane guy off the street, doesn't know what he's doing, has no drawing capabilities or anything like that. He ends up giving her this little tattoo, and she loves it, he loves it, they're besties. But in the time that she's gone, you know, I believe he's still there whenever they come back, and I loved him so much. I will protect Simon at absolutely all costs. I love him so much. He was the character in the book that I looked forward to the most. He was so very well written, and I'm very sad that he was just a side character. So I'm hoping, and I know this will never happen, but I'm hoping that we do get a little bit more Simon, maybe in another book, or I don't know. I would love to hear about his life. I would love to see like where he came from. I know in this book, oh, sorry, I'm still waiting for my coffee to kick in. In this book, he does go into his past very, 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 very briefly, like very little. But he does go into his life a little bit, and I would love to see a book. Like, you know how like we have Haunting Adeline, and then we have Phantom, where it kind of goes into Gigi's life. I would love a second book, but it goes into Simon's life. I would love that. 10 out of 10, hands down, yes. In this book, the Under the Waterfall, so the first one night stand, I am not gonna lie to you, that spice got me. It got me. It had me blushing like a schoolgirl. It had me kicking my feet like a little anime girl, giggling like I had no idea what smexy time was. I was dumbfounded by it. It was so very well written. It was like the descriptions were perfect, and it's very rare for a book to surprise me still. So that was really good. So the spice in this book was really good until it wasn't. To be honest with you, I can't even tell you how many spicy scenes we have, because at the end I no longer gave a fuck. But we ended up getting a few more spicy scenes. It was literally the first spice scene copy and pasted with like one or two things redacted. Like, it was literally just copy and pasted, and then we got another spicy scene, copy and pasted, and I was like, okay, this is getting a little bit out of hand. So it got to the point where when the spice scenes would come up, I would just like skim over the page, and once I saw spicy words no longer being used, I was like, okay, I can start reading again. So I did kind of check out of the book towards the end, but it just wasn't that good. Now, for me personally, I do read a lot of thriller as well, and I'm the type of person that can guess a book, or like guess the ending of a book, or even guess the ending of a movie within the first like 5 minutes of the movie, or first maybe 5 to 6 chapters of a book. I did not guess this ending. I did not. I was very, as I mentioned earlier, this book made me wonder what was happening 90% of the time. I didn't know if it was actually a ghost situation. I didn't expect it to be his daughter, actually the one walking around. So that was interesting. I also didn't expect the fact that Sylvester was this overly weird predator killer guy. That kind of threw me for a loop. He did get a little bit weird towards like the middle, and then even weirder towards the end. He really wanted Sawyer to stay. He wanted Sawyer to either, I don't necessarily think he wanted Sawyer to be his next wife, I guess, but he did want Sawyer to be his next daughter. I guess maybe he had a lot of trauma from Trinity unaliving herself. So he really got very controlling towards her, basically saying that he was going to protect her at all costs. She wasn't allowed to leave, and it would, well, not, it wasn't, she wasn't allowed to leave, but more so, I highly suggest you never leave and you always stay under my protection because I can protect you under my lighthouse and blah, blah, blah. And Enzo, of course, at this time is like, okay, that's kind of fucking weird. And then, of course, Sawyer started picking up on it like, hey, like, I'm really uncomfortable. I don't know what's happening. Like, can we not do this? And eventually, Sawyer does end up speaking out, but it ends up making Sylvester kind of angry, as you would imagine. But fights end up breaking out towards the end. Enzo ends up getting knocked out, I believe, at one point, leaving Sawyer and Sylvester alone together. But then Enzo comes out and he's like, Karate Kid, fucking smacking bitches. I don't know. This book was really, really good. I really did enjoy it. I think this book is a first for me. It's the first that has ever explored anything with sharks or anything of that nature, and it was one of the first to actually make me kick my feet like a little bitch. But it was not 100% the best. I do like how you have the dark romance, the thriller, combined. I don't know if she intended for this book to be a thriller. I don't know. So, like, don't sit there and, like, think, oh, this book is, I don't know. But to me, personally, this book was a dark romance thriller because it really gave you, well, it gave me that thrill aspect. I wasn't scared throughout the book, but man, the anticipation was killing me, and not knowing what was going on behind their locked door was absolutely mind-boggling, and I could not read it fast enough. I ended up reading this book, which I read most of my books within 24 hours, but this was one of the first books that I read in 24 hours. I needed to know what was happening. I needed to know the ending. Yeah, I actually do think too that this ending wasn't as bad as it was. I know that Sawyer ended up pretending to be Trinity so that she could get away from being arrested. I don't think I liked that personally, because I mean, I guess it makes sense, but also it doesn't. I don't know, because they literally said that she was cleared for most of her charges. I still don't know what charges, if not that, would have been maybe fleeing a crime scene, but I don't know. I don't know how to get what I'm thinking out of my head. I don't understand what all of her charges were, and if it was really that bad to take on this whole brand new identity, but whatever. I also do think, I could have dreamt this, so this might not even be in the book. I think this is in the book, but towards the end, they end up getting inside the cage and going, like, into the ocean where, like, the sharks are around them, and I do think they had another bit of schmexy time. That was kind of cool. Again, it was just copy and paste of the other ones, so I was just like, okay, whatever. Like, this is no longer cool. This is no longer hot. I'm no longer interested. I'm kind of bored, yawn. But I don't know. This book was really, really good. I did attempt to make Aqua read this book. He is not going to, unfortunately. Hence why I'm doing this alone. He heard from the grapevine about the shark scene, and he was like, nope, nope, nope. I'm good. I'm out. And he refuses to read it, but to each their own, you know, and I appreciate that and I respect that. So I did not get Aqua to read this book. I do, however, think I have one H.G. Carlton book left. I think it's called Shallow River or something of that nature. So I do have one H.G. Carlton book left. I'm going to have to finish that super quick so I can go ahead and just finish the entire world. But yeah, I don't know. I really liked this book. I do highly suggest this book. I know it got a 4 out of 5 star rating. I do think if it was a little bit more fast paced, that would have definitely been a 4.5. And to be honest, I think if the ending was explained just a little bit better, I was left a tiny bit confused. That might have been a 5, but I don't know. I do think a solid 4 does this book very justice. I think it does it well. And it kind of shows that I really did enjoy this book. I will gladly go back and reread it, and I will definitely suggest this book to other people. So if you think that this book getting a 4-star for me is like, I don't want to read it, definitely shut your filthy mouth and go read the book. Okay, Susan, just read it. It is really, really, really good. I love the thriller aspect in it too. Like, I think H.G. Carlton would actually do very well writing a thriller novel. And I know that she's a dark romance girly. I get that. I love that. I appreciate that. Yes, ma'am. Keep doing you because we love it. I'm eating it up like it's nothing. But like wholeheartedly, I think H.G. Carlton would do really good at a thriller novel. And I would love to see her dip her toes into that one day and make a whole ass thriller novel. Or make another thriller / dark romance, because that would be mwah, chef's kiss. But yeah, what did you guys think of this book? Did you guys like it? Because I know this book is like very 50-50. Some people like it, some people don't like it, especially the shark scene. I keep bringing that up, but a lot of people got really, really, really turned off from this book because of the shark scene. So what did you guys think of the book? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you wish you never read it? What was your favorite part? What was your least favorite part? You know, let's go. Yeah. But yeah, I hope everyone has a very, very fantastic day or night wherever you are from. And yeah, please stay safe. Please get water. Please get snacks. And as always, I am Elvish, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.